Hey car people, John here, John's Barn. Sorry about the disaster here. It's kind of cold and windy. Making a few videos here. Haven't seen you guys in a while. I had some things to take care of, and I've been working on the house. Had some fire damage there last year, and we're knocking a couple walls down to open up the whole main floor, which isn't costing anything. Just taking 2 walls down to open things up. But I made a video on doing maintenance on a Chevy truck transmission, late model, helping the Chevy guys out. So I thought I'd share this with you. This is a 1970 Dodge Polara. That's a 4-door hardtop car. This is just in from Arizona. As a matter of fact, it came from Desert Valley Auto Parts, and it ended up here in my yard. It's actually not in bad shape. It's the one door panel on the other side's got a little bit of on it. It needs a headliner, but I mean, all in all, it's a pretty cool old car. It's green, like everything was in the 60s and 70s. Look how that door shuts, folks. Look at this. Do you wish your new car's door shut like that? I like that front end. I always thought they were a good looking car. We're gonna open the hood here, and a lot of these had 318s, but this one doesn't. It's a big block car. 383. It runs. I put a battery in it, and the fuel pump's leaking, so when it's running, it's making a nice little mess. And boys, it's oof. Don't want to use that. Gasoline. It started on it, and it looked fairly clear. I pulled the hose off, like maybe they poured some clean gas in it, but it stinks. So my suggestion would be to run it on a can of gas until the tank's taken out and flushed or replaced. But it's all here. Air car, no cruise. I ran the numbers on it, decoded it. It's they had a low level and a base level. This is a base level Polara. It's not a custom, but the majority of these had 318s in them. This is a 383, so my guess is maybe it was ordered that way. This car is going to be turned into basically an undercover police car. It's perfect. No vinyl roof. There are in the garage. There's already a set of period correct, like for this car, poverty caps, police car poverty caps from 1968, 69, 70. They were purchased a few months back for something else, and lo and behold, they're going to go on this. In my stockpile of engines is about 8 440s, and including a 1970 440 HP out of an Imperial. It was dual exhaust HP 375 horse TNT car that ran like a top, and so that's actually the correct engine for a 70 police car engine. So it's going to go in this, and it's already a big block car, which is cool. I've got a few friends that are in the mopars real heavy, and I've already located the like station wagon / 440 torsion bars, which are even bigger than the ones that are on this. I've located the very hard to find rear sway bar that came off another police car that a friend of mine parted out years ago. He's got a lot of stuff in inventory. Might put a radio in it. I do have the searchlights that go on these. Just a neat car, people. Really cool car. An interesting backstory is when I was 16 years old, my dad worked at General Motors, and he bought and sold cars, and he bought the twin, and I mean the twin. Same interior. I have 2 pictures of the car. I almost laughed when I saw this. The absolute twin to that car, and it was at the auction. It was wrecked in the left front, and it needed a left front fender. We fixed the hood. It needed a bumper and a grill and a lower valance. And it was a 440 car, and I remember sitting in the car. We'd got the keys to it and had started it up. It hadn't been started in quite a while, and I looked at my dad and I said, "This thing's got a certified speedometer, Dad." And he said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Come here, look at it. It's got a 140 speedometer. It's certified." And he said, "I'll be damned, it's a police car." It had big exhaust on it, like 2.5-inch exhaust, because the forklift had damaged one of the primary front pipes. And so he went down to the parts place, and back then, this is in the late 70s, folks. He said, I need oh, hold on a second here. My goodness, I'm getting pictures. Hold on, folks. My dad said, I need a passenger exhaust pipe for a 70 Dodge Polara. And my goodness, people, I have cameras, and I forgot to turn the cameras off this morning, and there are 70 notifications. There goes my batteries. So I just disarmed the camera. We got the pipe, and it was the wrong size, and it was the wrong shape. And so we ended up having to go to the dealership, and they needed the VIN number, and this is even back then. And the VIN number, and he says, bring me the codes off the data tag. And we went to the Chrysler dealership, and he said, that's where'd you get the car? That's a Pursuit car. It has special manifolds, and I have a picture of it underneath the hood, dual snorkel air cleaner, and it had the HP, like the Ramshorn manifolds on it. It was the real deal. And so we got the exhaust pipe for that side, and you know, if you know anything about mopars, there's just 2 nuts and bolts that bolt it to the exhaust manifold, and then it goes back and it bolts to the secondary pipe with just 2 bolts. There's a flange there, and there you go. And so my dad kept the car for about a year. Took it deer hunting, and him and his friend had a few Frosties at the bar, and decided to drive around at 1 o'clock in the morning with a spotlight, looking for a good place to hunt the next morning. And they had loaded guns in the back seat. They spent the evening in jail, got out the next morning when the cops kind of realized what they were actually doing. They weren't poaching. They gave him hell, kept their guns. My dad and his friend had to go back up to Harrison, Michigan, which is 2.5 hours from here, about 2 months later, and go before the judge. They got their guns back. Nowadays, they kept your guns, put you in jail. Kept you in jail. And my mom was ticked off. Impounded the car, so he come back with his tail between his legs. But I snuck that car out. I was a good boy as a teenager, but I did sneak a car out once in a while because my dad bought a lot of hot rods. And then we snuck that car out, and we took it down to Woodward Avenue. And this is a true story. My friend can vouch for this. And hold on, my phone's just going off and off. Sorry about this, folks. But we went down to Woodward Avenue, which is the Cruise America, and I got into 4 races with that car, and I ran that car at about a 20-mile-an-hour roll because it would spin the tires hard out of the hole. The car was unbelievable, and I brag about the car to this day. It was probably slow to today's standard, probably a mid 13-second, high 13-second car, but it was just fast. And I raced a red with a black stripe LS5 454 Chevelle automatic, a 71, I believe. And at a 20 roll to about 80 miles an hour, he was behind us. I raced a 394 speed Mustang. I believe it was a 68 or 69 Mustang. He used to always be down here. It was a dark green car, beautiful car. Beat that car. And a guy had an SS454 Monte Carlo, a 70 model, and that was probably just a base LS3, LS4 car, because I put 3 or 4 car links on him. And the best race was a 71 or 72 Z28 with a built LT1 in it. I think it was a 71 car. It was a 4-speed LT1 spec engine with a bigger cam in it and headers and a 4-speed, and we took off at a 20 roll, and he pulled about a car on me, and I started to creep up on him. That Mopar had so much power in the mid-range, it was ridiculous. Back then, folks, they did play with those engines if they were relegated to a police car. I have a 69 440 out of a police car, and we had taken it apart, and it had never been apart. As a matter of fact, it had a cam lobe worn out on it, and I took it apart to rebuild it. It's actually put away. I was going to put it in a customer's vehicle, and instead we went with a modern Hemi. And the part number was on the camshaft, and we shook our head, and my friend says, you got to be kidding me. It had a 446-pack cam in it, and it had 6-pack rods in it. And this engine I pulled out of a rusty police car, a rusty 69 Fury that had sheet metal patches on the floors, and I stripped the whole car down, was going to try to find a body, and just lost interest. And it didn't have the radio or anything in it, but I kept the rear end. It was a 323 sure grip, and had 3 data tags. It was kind of cool. It was from like Kansas or something, and it made its way out here. It was a puke beige, baby crap beige color with that tan interior. It was kind of homely, and somebody had painted it blue with the white on the top, like a make-believe police car washboard paint job. But I had my dad had a friend that worked at Chrysler back in the day, and he said that in the 60s and through 1970, 71, if they were ordered as a pursuit car, that they basically were a 446 pack with a 4-barrel. And so it's no wonder that they ran like they did. And like I said, I can vouch for it. That 69 engine, I pulled the heads off, had Mopar I mean, everything. The head gaskets, it had never had a wrench to it, and it was clean inside. And I ran the part numbers, and I looked at my friend. I said, my God, it's got a 6-pack camshaft in it. And we pulled the pan, and he looked at me, because we know our motors. We're both professionals at this. We've been doing it a long time. And he looked at me, I looked at him, and before I could say anything, he says, it's got a set of 6 rods in it. We'll call them 6 rods. And he said, look at that, forged crank and a set of 6 rods. But that's not unheard of, folks, because I've had numerous motorhome 440s, and I've taken more than a handful apart that had 6-pack rods. They use those in the motorhomes. So, but I've got a delivery here. I think I've got some parts from Butler coming. There's the UPS guy. So I just wanted to touch base with you, and I wanted to share with you that Dodge Polara. And this one's about ready to go, folks. We pulled the 440 out of it. That's a donor car for one that is getting put together. The guy gave that car to me. And we're going to cover more here real soon. Thanks for joining us, and from John's Garage, thanks again. See ya. Say hi to the UPS guy.
Hi, guys.
More parts.